Hey, what is up YouTube? Alright, I'm going to take you guys through a back workout that I did at Metroflex Gym in Sydney recently, and it's going to be very much like a Dorian Yates back workout. I've always been a big fan of Dorian Yates, and he was always pretty much on the money with a lot of his advice, and I always found that his methods of training always made a lot of sense and always worked well with my own style of training. So starting with the pullover machine, this is a hammer strength pullover machine. I like to start with this as Dorian did, just to isolate the lats, so you're not using any biceps in this movement, so you can fatigue the lats before moving on to any sort of pull down, any pulling sort of work or rowing sort of work. And I like to superset this with like a cable row sort of machine. It's an exercise that I learned from Charlie Duca, but I superset it with the pullovers just because I find it also isolates the lats nicely. There is a bit of bicep involvement in this as well, but because of the exercise, the strength curve seems to match where you're stronger. So right at the top when you're stretched out is really heavy, and then once you bring it in, it sort of gets a little bit lighter. So just trying to keep the elbows nice and close to the side. Don't want to stretch out any more than the lats are engaged, so you want to make sure that the lats are engaged the whole time during this exercise. But this is a great superset. Really hits right in the tricep lat tie-in for me, right in the upper lats. And then next up is the hammer strength supinated pull down. Obviously the same as Dorian Yates. This is my favourite lat exercise. I've always felt this one right in the lats. Again, so not trying to let your hands go above your head, so just to where your lats are fully stretched, which is just a little bit out in front of you. So if you go too far, it sort of comes into the delts a little bit. It can cause shoulder problems, but this was still a bit of a warm-up set, getting about 12 reps. I'll try and build up to a final set where I'm getting about 6 to 8 with this sort of weight, with this exercise. So this is my working set, so where the weight's really heavy, and as you can see in this angle, I'm just going to where my lats are stretched, so there's tension on the lats the whole way through the movement, rather than letting it go all the way up, which is what I used to do, but that gave me a lot of shoulder problems. But you'll see in this set that I don't quite get the full contraction of the lats. This is my heaviest set, so this is the one that I want to try and improve. Always try and count the reps, and then the next week try and beat them, the full reps that I can complete. Then next up, just to see how many I could get once I did all that work, was just some pull-ups, only just to see sort of where my strength level was at. I think I got about 9 just with a neutral grip. But this is always a great exercise for back training. It doesn't always sort of work well in your with your hypertrophy training, but it is still one of the great lifts for overall back development. Also get a lot of bicep involvement in this, and that's why I tend to go more towards machines when trying to target my back. But then this is really the bread and butter of the workout, is the one-arm dumbbell row. You can either do a barbell row or underhand barbell row, but I tend to prefer dumbbell rows because I squat and deadlift in 2 other workouts during the week, so I tend not to want to put too much strain on the lower back, which bent over rows will do. So that's why I opt for the one-arm row. Also, I've got one side that's weaker than the other, but that was my top set. I think I got up to about 46 kilos, aiming for about 8 good reps, and then this is just the back down set to finish it off. I think I dropped the weight about 10 kilos to about 36 kilos, and then try and get about 12 to 15 reps just to really finish it off. So this is my weaker side. This is the side that I normally have problems with my shoulder, and that's the side that always goes first. And I try and keep it even with my right side. I try not to do any more reps on my right side than I do on the left. So the next movement is a seated row. You can do any type of row next up, just to hit the mid back. I was probably going to do this or a row with a pad, sort of like a prone row. But I chose the seated row today. I would have liked a little bit of a wider grip than this, and this is still hitting a bit more lats, but I wanted to hit like in between the shoulder blades. And the reason why I'm using this grip, which is a prime grip, is just because it's a little bit easier on the forearm. My forearms are pretty much cooked by the time I get to this stage of the workout. So these are really good grips just to keep tension off the forearms. Then also did a little bit more, as I found that grip was a bit too narrow, so I wanted something more upper back. So then went for like a straight bar seated row, and as you can see, my elbows are a lot wider. I'm hitting more upper back, really trying to hit in between the shoulder blades, as it's an area that I'm pretty weak. I'm not using much weight. I really need to. This is an area that I need to focus on, and it's an area that I can bring up a lot for my next show. So this is going to be one of the staples for my workouts this season, getting ready for the shows next year. But as you can see from this angle, trying to hit the upper back, so pulling the elbows out nice and wide and trying to squeeze the shoulder blades together, and getting a lot of trap, rhomboid, still a little bit of lats involved in this movement. And as you can see, I'm just trying to keep my body as still as possible, but still trying to get a full stretch, which is not always easy. You don't want to rock and roll too much, but you want to keep it to a minimum as much as possible. Then the next exercise, I like to train my rear delts with back. I think they get a bit of work already in all the pulling movements, so I like to hit the rear delts at the end. And this is my favourite machine for rear delts. This hammer strength plate loaded rear delt machine, where it's got the cutout so you can breathe, put your head through, which is a little bit more comfortable. And this, you can just totally isolate the rear delts. And I aimed for 12 reps. I think this was a back down set. I go a little bit heavier, but this is definitely a great machine for rear delts. Try and keep tension on them the whole time rather than sort of jerking. And just to finish off with some shrugs, I like to hit the traps, or try and hit the upper traps in my back workout. This is an exercise that I haven't done a lot of, and you can kind of tell in my physique. So I'm hoping that if I do a lot more of these, it'll show up in my next comps. I just need a bit more size through the upper back and thickness through the traps. So I'm going to be doing plenty of shrugs this season. So that was my back workout wrapped up. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll be coming up with some more posts soon, heading into competitions. I think I'll start my prep soon. So looking forward to the 2022 season. Till then, catch you guys again soon.